drama has already struck the event before fight night even arrives. The FS1 UFC Fight Night weigh-in show starts now. Hello, everyone. They are in England. We are across the pond in the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles. Karen Bryant here alongside UFC commentator Mr. Jimmy Smith and everyone's favorite Englishman and former middleweight champion Michael Bisping.
Everybody's favorite.
It really, truly is. Guys, got a lot to talk about and a lot to get to, but first I want to let everybody know that the main event was actually in jeopardy after this morning's official weigh-in. Megan O'Leary is on location with the details.
Thank you so much, Karen. Well, it went down to the wire here in Liverpool, but we have a main event. The fight is on between Stephen Thompson and Darren Till. There are some stipulations, though. Darren Till will be giving 30% of his purse up to Stephen Thompson, and he can weigh no more than 188 pounds by 1 p.m. tomorrow when they check his weight again. That main event, again, is on. I know Liverpool will be very happy about that news. And just to update you about Molly McCann, she also missed weight this morning. She will be giving up 20% of her purse, and she can weigh no more than 136 pounds at the arena when she checks in for her fight tomorrow. Karen, lots of news here from England. Back to you guys in LA.
All right, thanks so much for that, Megan. Guys, you know, we say it a lot, but you have one job, and that's to get on weight. And
yeah.
He said it was a family emergency. Right now,
Of
that's
course.
the details that we have.
If it was a family emergency, obviously we have to hear the details, but I give a little leeway, so I'll reserve my judgment. But typically, there's only two things you can control. One, that you're in shape to go the distance, and secondly, that you turn up on weight. They're the only things you can control. Winning the fight, that's down to the gods, if you will. But turning up on weight, you got to do it, man. You got to do it.
And what you got to remember is big fight for him. This is a distraction you don't need, you don't want. We all talk about his performance about Cowboy. Great stuff. This card, essentially in his backyard, made as a showcase against a tough opponent for him, and he doesn't make weight. It's one of those things where, oh, like you didn't have enough on your shoulders, you have this coming in too. He doesn't have a lot of big fight experience. It's very important.
Michael, how hard do you think it was a decision for Stephen to accept the fight?
Well, listen, if you look at the history, what is it?
For the 6 people who have missed weight and fought, they've all won.
Yeah, oh, they've all won.
They've all won.
4 finishes.
That is a significant thing. 4 finishes, pardon me. That's the stats I was looking for. Thank you, Jimmy. I knew I liked you.
Bam!
It's a big deal. It really is. Now, of course, Megan said he has to be 188. No more than 188 tomorrow, which is interesting because Darren this week was talking about what a big welterweight he is. He said, I'm massive for this weight class. So if he is 200, 205, he's going to have an issue fight night.
And with so much movement at 170, Wonderboy Thompson cannot afford to lose this fight. Can't fall back.
Yeah, now that's in his head, and even though Stephen may have been overly confident before this, that may change things. We shall see. Well, with that, we are going to send you out to Liverpool for our ceremonial weigh-ins. The man on the mic is Dan Hardy, a welterweight we all know and love ourselves. Take it away, Dan.
My girl versus Till. Here's Dan Hardy.
Let's go. Okay, weigh-in times. Please welcome the beautiful ring girls, Carly and Luciana, Mick Maynard, Bruce Buffer, everybody, come on. Ricky Manetta. All right, guys, you ready to get this thing rolling? We've got a lot of fighters backstage ready to come out and see you. Let's start the Fight Pass prelims. The first fight on the card, Elias Theodorou versus Trevor Smith. First to the stage in the blue corner, Trevor Hot Sauce Smith.
Old Hot Sauce has been around for a while. Professional record of 15-7, Strikeforce, UFC veteran. Been on the pro circuit since 2009 and made the transition into MMA after being an NCAA All-American at Iowa State University. We last saw him beating Chris Camozzi.
186 for Trevor Smith.
That was almost a year ago to the day, May 28th, so maybe a bit of ring rust.
Corner, Elias, the Spartan, Theodorou.
What you want to see every time Elias Theodorou weighs in, the hair, looking epic, looking great.
Is it?
You know, hey, dude, I mean, I'm distracted right now. I can't even talk about his record and his ability. Known for going to decision, known for being a very smart fighter, fights at range. When he makes intelligent choices, very, very tough to get him off his game.
You know, I hear he's very good at holding up cards with numbers on.
He is fantastic. That's his real strength, is being a ring card boy, but decent fighter as well. He can do that.
No, he's all right.
On the FS1 prelims in the women's flyweight division, Jillian Robertson versus Molly McCann. First to the stage in the blue corner, the meatball, Molly McCann.
Well, unfortunately, the theme of the Scousers, the Liverpudlians, is that they don't seem to be able to make weight. And here we have another one. Former Cage Warriors champion Molly McCann unfortunately missed weight as well. They call her Meatball because she used to work the night shift at Subway. And in Liverpool, here she is weighing in earlier today, missing weight, unfortunately.
And her opponent in the red corner, Jillian.
Not a good day for her. That's not the way to make the UFC game.
Jillian Robertson, folks. It's funny, she posted this picture on her Instagram. It was very, it's quite a cute picture, actually, saying she started 7 years ago. It was a picture of her taking her first kickboxing class. And obviously now she is a professional UFC fighter. And really, you could just kind of see the joy in her, how much she loves this sport. And you do remember her from Tough 26. She was on Team Gaethje.
When she walks out there, she got a massive boot. And the Liverpudlians are so fiercely patriotic. It's
versus Carlo PEDERSOLI. Versus the stage in the blue corner, Carlo Cemento PEDERSOLI.
Italy's Carlo PEDERSOLI makes his UFC debut tomorrow night, riding a 7-fight win streak while stepping into the octagon for the very first time. He's fluent in 3 different languages, English, Spanish, and Italian, but his nickname Cemento means cement in Japanese.
170 for Carlo PEDERSOLI.
That's another guy with that karate style, very unorthodox. We're going to see what he does in his UFC debut.
Brad Scott, he had quite the journey making it here to this scale. Supposed to fight Jack Marshman in London. Marshman pulled out with an injury. Sean Selby then matched him up with somebody else. He also got injured, so then he thought, I'm not going to fight on this card at all. And then last minute, Sean Selby got him another opponent. Here he is, finally making it to the scale. So, yeah. And adjusting his neck there as he squares up. Huh. That's the weirdest stance I've ever seen in my life.
Throws a lot of power punch, entertaining fighter.
Oh,
he likes to go to war, for sure.
Entertaining fighter, weird individual.
You know all about that, buddy.
They often go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Versus Gina Mazzani. First to the stage, Gina Mazzani.
And of course, there is Gina Mazzani. Outstanding fighter.
Oh, yeah.
What I like about her is all her finishes are in the first round. If you look at the Wu Yunan fight, really, really aggressive. Wu really came at her. What'd she do? She met fire with fire. I like that kind of attitude. She comes in there to brawl, no fear, never steps back. Always an exciting
And her
fight.
opponent in the red corner, Lena Elbow Queen Landsberg.
The Elbow Queen Lena Landsberg was given her nickname in Thailand because of her affinity for throwing elbows in both fights and practice, and her stand-up skills are apparent. She's won 4 of her MMA 7 victories by way of knockout.
The Elbow Queen?
Yeah.
I like it.
It's a brave woman. She went in there with Chris Cyborg. So this is a fearless woman for sure.
That's all you need to say. Give him that nickname by her coach. Great with the elbows, slice you up inside, and that's her game plan.
All smiles there. That's nice to see.
Moving on to the middleweight division, Dan Kelly versus Tom Breeze. First to the stage in the blue corner, Tom Breeze.
Tom Breeze, 10-1, 6 submissions, 3 KO, 6 of them in the first round. What I like about him, very quick left hand, very good timing from that southpaw stance. Performance of the night against Cathal Pendred. First round KO, really confident, big, rangy at 170 pounds. His build is going to cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Breeze is
And his
legit.
opponent in the red corner, Daniel Kelly.
Well, Daniel Kelly, everyone's favorite Australian judo Olympian, finds himself on
That's very specific.
Yes.
Everybody's favorite Australian, multiple-time judo Olympian.
there you
I don't know
go.
how many of those there are. That's not a lot.
Well, he's been around the block for a little while, beating guys like Rashad Evans, but he needs to win this fight. But he says if he loses,
186 for Daniel
he's
Kelly.
retiring from MMA for good. So a lot of pressure going into this fight, putting himself under pressure.
Is that something you would put on before a fight? If I don't win this, I mean...
I guess he's just being realistic.
I mean, yes,
You
it's
know?
not a spring chicken, no disrespect.
40
but
years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not old.
All right, but it is not old. We are not saying that is old, folks. Next up on the main card, we're going to start off our festivities with the middleweights, Eric Spicely and Darren Stewart. Mike, why don't you tell us about London's Darren Stewart?
Yeah, well, Darren Stewart, he's got a very, very exciting style, fun to watch. Lots of spinning attacks, struggled in his early fights, but he always brings it. Each and every time. If you watch this guy fight, you know, it's definitely a kill or to be killed type of attitude. Very exciting.
And his
He
opponent
looks a
in the
little
red corner,
bewildered there on the
Eric
scales.
Spicely.
I think he expected more.
Yeah, all right. You guys remember Eric Spicely, of course, from Tough 23. What I like about Eric here, he said he went back to TriStar for this camp. He said, listen, I won my 2 UFC fights when I was working with TriStar. Let me go back there.
186 for Eric Spicely.
And those were wins over Thiago Santos and Alessio Di Chirico. So Eric Spicely going back to the team that made it work for him.
Spicely's going to have to take this one to the floor.
For sure.
He's going to be successful.
100%.
We've got to
Yeah.
take him down.
Next up in the welterweight division, Claudio Silva versus Nordine Taleb. In the blue corner, Nordine Taleb.
Nordine Taleb is coming off a 59-second knockout in his last UFC outing. He's looking to make it 3 in a row here in Liverpool. He's a very well-rounded fighter, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, and 7 wins on his record coming by way of knockout.
This guy's good to watch,
He
man.
is
He
good.
is so technical on the feet,
171
really
for
is.
Nordine Taleb.
And big for a welterweight, too. Seems like when he's in there, he can definitely sort of use that
And
wing
his
to
opponent
the
in the red corner, Claudio Hannibal Silva.
And I think we're going to see that accuracy against Claudio Silva. Claudio Silva, very, very reckless when he goes in. He doesn't mind eating the shot to get in, get the clinch, get the takedown.
Yeah.
The problem has been consistency. I mean, hasn't fought since November 2004, hasn't lost since his
170 for
debut.
Claudio Silva.
But the problem is he hasn't fought since November 2014. It's been getting the octagon time in. That's been tough.
That's a long time.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
And that affects your timing in the first round, especially against Nordine Taleb, who's incredibly accurate. He'll make you pay for making a mistake
for sure,
early.
absolutely. Very, very technical. He uses a lot of feints, a lot of head movement.
We have a great fight in the featherweight division next. Jason Knight versus Makwan AMIRKHANI. Make some noise for the blue corner. Makwan, Mr. Finland, AMIRKHANI.
All right, guys, I had the pleasure of speaking with Makwan about a week and a half ago. Really nice guy, trains out of SBG in Ireland, so he's alongside Conor McGregor under the great tutelage of John Kavanagh. You know, it's interesting, Makwan hasn't fought for a little while as well, Michael, but he actually said the reason for his layoff, he needed to get better. He admitted, I need better hands, I need to work on my boxing, I'm gonna take some time out of the octagon, get better at those things. We know he does have a solid wrestling already. I really respect that as somebody who, you know, wasn't gonna just go in there and talk their way into fights, actually was gonna make sure that they were ready for the next steps. He is a real big prospect out of Finland, so looking for good things for him tomorrow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's kind of a staple, though, on the European cards. And
Yeah.
he's got a nice little fan base. Always exciting. Good wrestling, as you said.
Yes.
Very, very good, underrated wrestling.
Well, his first 2 fights last combined a minute 49, so...
Oh, you know, he
can
starts
start
hard and
fast.
fast. He flies through the air with a flying knee.
Jason Knight spent about a week at Cowboy Cerrone's ranch in preparation for this bout. He and opponent AMIRKHANI have exchanged some heated words, and Knight said he wants to go all 3 rounds to really punish his opponent.
146 for Jason Knight.
Oh, this guy's crazy. I love it. I love it.
Yes, baby, Mississippi me.
Coming in with a lot of attitude.
There ain't nothing to do out in the sticks apart from party and fight. I don't know if he talks like this.
Yeah, it's pretty close. That's not
That's the way
bad.
I hear him.
That's not bad. It's not bad.
Well, it's interesting, too. They're jawing at each other here. I read in one of the articles, Jason Knight was actually bothered by a lot of the things Makwan said in my interview with him.
Look
It
at
really
this.
kind of got under Jason's skin.
But that's Makwan's whole point.
Yes.
Get under your skin, make you fight emotionally, walk into my takedown, walk into my technique.
They're fired up. That's gonna be fun.
Versus Mads Burnell in the blue corner. Mads Burnell.
Now, personally, I'm jealous of any fighter whose name is already a nickname. All right, Mads Burnell. All right, I'm stuck with Jimmy Smith. Mads Burnell, 9-2, 5 submissions. You know, when you study his fights, he's a tank. Short,
Yes.
stocky for this weight class, likes to come in, throw hooks, get his takedown going. When he gets on top and is able to use his ground and pound, that's when he's at his best.
Well, Jimmy, I will see your Mads Burnell and raise you with Arnold. You know what I mean?
Bam! It
Get to the
screams
chopper.
aggression.
You know what I'm saying? Arnold Schwarzenegger, Arnold Allen, this guy's a very, very humble young man. 3-0 in the UFC so far, and he's tipped for greatness. Dan Hardy this week said that he's a future champion. Training out there at TriStar, as well as over here in England as well. Not that I'm in England right now, but you get what I'm saying.
He did get a split decision win over AMIRKHANI too. So.
He did. That was
Finished
close
strong in
one.
that fight.
He did.
Finished very strong.
It was a close fight.
It was very close. I like the face you're making. Close fight.
Yeah.
Close fight. Yeah.
Yeah, Arnold's got a lot going for him.
For sure. I think Kenny Moria picked him as the fighter to watch this week too.
Oh, for sure.
Versus Craig White, making his UFC debut. Craig Thundercat White.
Who is this Craig White, I hear you say? This Thundercat guy that I keep hearing him of. Well, let me tell you, he comes from Devon, England, and has a pro record of 14-7. A lot of losses, you may think, but that's because he turned pro 18, got his experience on the professional circuit, something that a lot of fighters do, to be honest. They need to wait until they turn pro. But in his last 10, he's a very respectable 8-2.
But the problem is he has a tough test in Neil Magny, one of those guys who has fought everyone. Used to taking on big names, used to big fights, very tall, very rangy. Also, he uses all of his weapons. Do the Carlos Condit fight, Carlos Condit was always guessing at what was coming next, the strike or the takedown. When he mixes it up, that's when he's at his best.
Absolutely. Not much of a height disparity, though, which is something that Magny's
It's time
probably
now to
not
take a
used
look
to.
at the two guys in the main event of the evening.
When Stephen Wonderboy Thompson takes on Darren Till, you have the veteran in Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who has fought for the UFC championship twice, who has been at the top of this sport and top of his division for a very long time, taking on a guy in Darren Till, who has all the makings of the next big star.
This fight has potential to be fight of the year. I think this fight is going to be a technical, violent masterpiece.
I want to test myself against these up-and-coming guys. I want to prove that I still have the potential to go out there and be the best.
I want to do things people said I couldn't do. I just want the big challenges. I just want to get to that point where I say I was the greatest.
You know, Darren Till is a big physical guy, and we saw that when he fought Donald Cerrone. Darren Till walked Donald Cerrone down and beat him unmercifully.
It's a rally of punches here from Darren Till.
Cowboys turned away from his opponent. What a stoppage!
Darren Till shocks the world.
You know what, mate? Maybe it is hype, maybe it's not. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe I am not what everyone thinks. I just couldn't really care. I just want to fight and prove I am the greatest fighter of all time.
But in this fight, he's fighting one of the best strikers that we have ever seen in the UFC.
Darren Till wanted me, now he's got me. You know, you got to kind of be careful what you wish for. My karate style is very dangerous, and it's very hard to prepare for.
Oh, another spinning attack, another knockdown. That's it.
Fighting Wonderboy Thompson is like solving a Rubik's Cube while somebody's punching you in the face. They're on the outside trying to figure out what to do, and the whole time he's kicking the crap out of them.
I think physically and stylistically, I'm a better fighter than him. I'm a better striker than him. He thinks he's got the best strike, the better striking. I'm here to tell him that he's not.
I started wanting to be the best and the greatest. I can't accept second place. It's either he was the best or he weren't.
It's gonna be the hardest fight of his life. I'm gonna go out there, put on a show, let the UFC know and the fans, hey, give it that title shot again.
I've really worked hard to get here. I've had to put a lot of belief in it. That's gonna be the biggest night of my life, and I'm gonna win.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, Liverpool's own Darren the Gorilla.
Let me tell you something about the people of Liverpool. They love their own, and listen to this crowd right here. Because there's been a few guys in the UFC from Liverpool.
174.
They didn't miss weight though, unfortunately. We see a shot of him there, which is really sad, you know. This is a big event for Darren Till to come in 3.5 pounds over his,
Stephen,
you know,
Wonderboy
it's a shame.
Thompson.
Stephen Thompson getting the boos. Do not think that's going to affect him. One thing about this miss on the scale for Darren Till, it won't affect the tactics of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He fights on the outside. He moves a lot. He's going to keep Darren Till at a distance.
171 for the Wonderboy.
So I don't think Stephen Thompson fights a different fight. I think you move past today, you mentally reset, you remember your game, which him, outside, karate style, tons of kicks.
If you see them squaring up here, I think Till isn't used to fighting somebody the same height as him.
Yeah.
And maybe Wonderboy as well. So this is interesting. Two very tall guys, around 6'2".
Okay, let's get a quick question. Darren, it's been a hell of a build-up to this. You've dreamt of this moment all your life. The fight's tomorrow. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I just want to apologise first for missing weight. Shit happens, so I'm sorry about that. But make no mistake, I still believe I am the greatest, and tomorrow I know I can finish Stephen Thompson. He's all respect in the world, but I'm too good. I'm just too intelligent, and I know I'm going to win. And look at this, it's in Liverpool now, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Till! And Stephen Thompson, obviously you can see he has a lot of hometown support. He's quite a special athlete, you've said that yourself, but you're a special athlete yourself. How do you beat him tomorrow night and stop his roll?
You know what? I'm gonna go out there and put on a show for the fans, man. Thank you, Liverpool, for having me. Good luck tonight, baby. Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Thompson! We will see you tomorrow. It's fight day tomorrow. Make sure you're in your seats for the prelims. We'll see you then. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks so much, Dan Hardy. Folks, welcome back to Los Angeles. Michael,
Yes.
your first reaction there from the main event stare down.
Well, first of all, I mean, I can't wait for this fight, but it is disappointing that Darren Till missed weight. We spoke about it before, but that changes the landscape going into this fight. It has so many questions. Did he apply himself in training camp? Of course, I think he did. But why did he miss weight? Of course, we're hearing about a personal issue, so I hope everything is well in that regard. But this isn't good going into the first main event in Liverpool, Jimmy.
There are no asterisks next to your record. It is win or loss, and that is it. And we have to remember that. 30%, yeah, that's a lot. If he wins this fight, becomes a contender, pay-per-view, main event down the road.
Millions of dollars.
Nothing in that regard. It's money in the bank.
The history books will show that Darren Till beat him. It won't say he beat him, but he missed weight. So, and another interesting thing is that he came in for the first attempt at weighing in 2 hours after it closed. So it's not like he came in early, missed, and went back and tried it again. So I don't know what the situation was, but it's not like he tried to weigh in several times, which is normally the case.
And also remember, if you go in and try and do it again, it takes a lot out of you. He didn't do that.
Massive,
he went in once, didn't make
That's
it.
what
That
I'm
was
saying.
it. Yeah.
That's the point I'm making.
Physically, he's going to have a lot.
It's so draining. Stepping onto the scale, you miss weight, emotions are, you're out of your mind. You're like, I don't believe this. But then you got to go get back on into the sauna. When your opponent's eating, drinking, all this type of thing, you're in the sauna still trying to lose it. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we may have a contender already, though, for Fight of the Night, guys. If you look at the stare down between Makwan AMIRKHANI and Jason Knight, Jimmy, this one already got hot.
Now, one thing I want to keep in mind, AMIRKHANI, he likes this is the kind of thing he likes. He likes an opponent getting emotional. He likes an opponent getting in his face. You know for a little bit of trash talk yourself, Michael. It's one of those things you kind of live for. You want that. Is Jason Knight the kind of fighter who generally does that kind of thing? Not as much. Change isn't good. If you're the guy who likes to talk trash,
I've seen a little crazy in Jason.
A little bit, yeah, there is.
When I look at him and Makwan AMIRKHANI, he's the same thing as well. Very, very exciting. Can't wait.
All right, well, as the odds have it right now, Jason Knight is the favorite still at a -165 to a +135, but sometimes we see the line change after a stare down like that. I'll be curious to see what it is tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, let's take a look at tomorrow afternoon's fight night. You're going to want to head to FS1 at 10 a.m. Eastern for the pre-fight show, followed by the prelims at 11, main card at 1. Then stick around for the post-fight show immediately following Thompson versus Till. Now, coming up next, Darren Till is undefeated, fighting at home and on the brink of stardom. But did a weight miss put all of that in jeopardy? Stay tuned. We will talk about it on The Weigh-In Show.